Yeah.
So for the audience that doesn't know, what is a talent manager? Like, because it's, I don't know, people want to say, oh, I need a manager, blah, blah, but what does a manager actually do?
So I always think it's funny when people say, oh, I need a manager. I'm like, yeah, you probably don't. And by the way, my parents still ask me this question. So what exactly do you do? A manager, first and foremost, is a strategist. We're sort of there we're the captain of that ship. We're there to we're there to go on the journey with you. Back in the old days, and really truly back in the old days, there was a definite divide. You were a manager or you were an agent. And agents, they submitted and they pitched and they negotiated, and that was their job, and they stayed in their lane. And managers were a little more, hand-holdy and more strategist, and, it was more of a personal relationship. And we didn't really, back in those days, do a lot of pitching and submitting. I mean, we always sort of knew what was going on, but we stayed in our lane.
Why choose that lane? Like, what manager versus agent?
That's a good question. I don't know.
That's funny.
I never, it never dawned on me to be an agent. Maybe because I knew a lot of agents in the music business, and they were all tools. I was like, oh, yeah, no, I don't want to do that. Also, in the state of California, you have to be licensed and bonded to be an agent. So it's not as simple as that. And of course, then the other thing for me is then people don't wake up and go, God, you know what I want to do? I think I want to be a manager when I grow up. That doesn't happen. I always chose the road less traveled.
Yeah, join. Yeah, I'm in that club for sure. With that being said, do you have any managers or reps, like from whether history or currently, that that have inspired you throughout your career? Like who I would take that as you may.
Who've inspired me?
Yeah, like you've seen that they've done over their career, and like maybe like you found that pretty interesting.
So there were a couple people who I always sort of looked at and went, oh yeah, okay, that's the career I would have. Peter Grant. If you don't know who Peter Grant is, he was the manager for Led Zeppelin. And sort of a side note, when I was doing a show with Slayer, we were at Madison Square Garden for Clash of the Titans, and I'm in the back walking down, and I'm like, okay, this is the song I'm totally Peter Grant right now. I totally had a moment of, yeah! But Peter Grant has always been somebody that I looked to. Bernie Brillstein was always somebody that I sort of watched and was like, man, how do you even do that? And David Geffen, who actually started out as a manager. And I just sort of paid attention to, those are the people that really inspired me. Interestingly enough, I think a lot of people, because I used to know back in the metal days, there haven't been a lot of, Sharon Osbourne excluded, there haven't been a lot of women, and not that should matter. I mean, if you admire somebody, it shouldn't matter what they are, but there haven't been a lot of women to look at and go, all right. But hopefully I'm that person for somebody now.
I'm sure you have. You've been in it for a while. You've inspired me all the time, so that's, yeah, right? But